Fantastic. Well, Lori, thank you. I am excited to get to share this. It was fun to see Noelle on the presentation this evening because she was one of the people that actually helped to solidify Super Patch in my world because I was super resistant. Like a lot of people, I think they just, come on, how can this work? But when Lori shared with me a video of Noelle and she was literally almost sobbing joys tears of joy because she had so much chronic pain. She said it took her 5 to 10 minutes every morning to get out of bed, and it was painful. And the Freedom Patch literally instantly reduced her pains to the degree that she started crying. So that was all it took for me. And what we've learned since then, we heard some of it on the testimonials this evening, is that we can't claim to prevent or cure anything. That's just to protect our company. But what we do know is brain imaging shows it. The actual results that we're experiencing in our own families and other people's families is we have the most powerful mental health tool on the planet. When the brain's optimized, the body is optimized. And so people are less reactive. There are less arguments. What Lori experienced with Lauren and Evan today in the car was a perfect experience of that. So I'd like to introduce everybody, first of all, to Mr. Jay Dollywall, the creator of this, and we'll dive right in.
We are poisoning our society. We're poisoning our kids, and we're letting it happen. The powers that control this country,
which is, I think, big pharma.
They're the largest advertiser in mass media. Modern medicine is hijacked by three modalities: chemical, a drug, some kind of electrical stimulation, implant, or surgery. That's it. There's nothing else. Till this came along, no chemical, and we can get people out of a stressful chronic stress situation, chronic anxiety stress, and lower it measurably. This is award Nobel Prize winning science. Within 20 minutes, you see a sad brain become a happy brain, bro. 16 years and $25 million in R&D to get this to this place. And the world's clamoring for drug-free solutions.
If I put on that patch, am I going to feel the difference?
So the most reliable measurement of longevity in adults is that means you're going to live longer. The whole world is chasing AI, right? What we're harnessing is OI, original intelligence, that we're born with.
Aren't you worried about getting whacked? Because if you really do that, pharmaceuticals, trillions of dollars, someone's going to send a black helicopter.
I'm going to say something that maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to say it anyways. We are
I love that. He didn't get to say it, so I'm going to get to say it. Ultimately, the mission of the Super Patch is that we provide drug-free solutions that are safe, that are tested, that are proven, they're affordable to the masses. I'll share this with you because this is a private presentation. The pharmaceutical industry offered Jay Dollywall $1 billion with a B last January, 1 year ago, for this technology. And he turned them down. He said, look, we are on opposite sides of the playing field. And I promise you, it wasn't so that they could make this available to the masses for a low cost. So who is this guy? Jay Dollywall. Jay Dollywall is an independently, wildly successful individual in the tech boom. So Jay's backstory is his mother, it was a seamstress in a Levi's factory. So they didn't come from money. And Jay wanted to change that. And so what he did is he became a software engineer. And Jay is a very diligent human being. During the dot-com boom, he wrote software that created the most robust security software that he was then able to sell to the top companies on the planet that you and I all know about. And it literally made hundreds of millions of dollars. He says, I've lost tens of millions, but I earned hundreds of millions. He says that with humility. And so what Jay did is, when his mother was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 40 years ago and given 6 years to live, that was intolerable to him. And so what he did is he had the financial bankroll, so to speak, to take her to the best specialist on the planet. And that's what he did. And happy to say that Jay's mother is still alive and well, 40 years later, full mobility of her neck, full cognitive function. And much of that has to do with the fact that Jay had the financial ability to take her to the specialist, but also 17 years ago, he identified that these specialists were limited. They could only go so far. And so he decided, well, if they can't do it, I'm going to do it. And so he put his focus onto the neurosciences. And we'll get a little further into what that looks like here in a second. But from a business standpoint, with the Super Patch, we have a $4.7 trillion global opportunity. What that looks like is Some of you on this presentation may have been involved with traditional businesses or maybe even a network marketing business in the past, and it focused on a particular niche, right? It might have been the health and wellness niche. It might have been the beauty niche. Well, that's fantastic. There are people who have made fortunes with just that small demographic. But what the super patch is we're tapping into $4.7 trillion global opportunity because that is the amount of money that people are spending on a yearly basis for solutions to issues that the super patch has chemical-free solutions for. And we'll talk more. This will make more sense as we go along from an opportunity standpoint. That's 6 billion people on the planet. That's 6 billion people. It's almost 80% of the global population are individuals who are our potential market. These are people who are spending money on chemicals for their headaches, for chemicals for their heartburn, for chemicals for mood regulation, right? So we have chemical-free solutions that work almost immediately for individuals with no side effects, no contraindications with any medication that a person may be taking. From those of us who are putting a lot of our time, energy, focus into sharing the super patch because we know the benefits that it provides to society, it's important that we know that it is a globally protected technology. What that looks like is a lot of companies will patent a product, right? Oh, our product's patented. Great. A patent's fantastic. Dyson vacuum cleaners had a patent on the technology for their Dyson vacuums. And they had a competitive edge in the marketplace when nobody else had their technology. But what happened when that patent ran out? Everybody's got that technology now. I go to Lowe's or Home Depot, go to the vacuum aisle, and all of those vacuums have the exact same technology as Dyson. So therefore, no longer a competitive advantage. What Jay did is different. He did not patent this technology. What he did is he did a copyright protection on the code he wrote to create this technology. So the intellectual property is protected. It took him 17 years writing code to develop this technology. And that is what is protected. So to say that we have a one of one product is a radical understatement. With a copyright protection, that is for the life of Jay Dollywall and 50 years post his passing. So that means we have no competition. There's no competition in the marketplace. Somebody's not going to be able to go to the store down the street or a neighbor in another company and get this technology. It doesn't exist. And when we spoke with Jay, he said, "Listen, we not only have a one of one technology." Like no one can get this except through Superpatch or a representative of Superpatch and Associate. He says what makes it incredibly special is the fact that it's a disruptive technology. A disruptive technology is like our great grandparents lit their homes with lanterns and candles, and then came the light bulb. That was a quantum jump, a quantum leap in technology. And then there were people like riding around in horses and buggies, and then it became Henry Ford and the automobile. That is a quantum jump in technology. I believe when I hear Edison sitting down and 10,000 tries to get the light bulb. Thomas Edison, 10,000 tries. Thomas Edison, by the way, had an entire team. So now we have Jay Dollywall, who sat down for 17 years, bolted his butt to a chair, and wrote the code to decipher this. And I believe we have something right on par with the light bulb. People might chuckle, but this is Nobel Prize winning technology. And I think that we're going to see that in the coming years. So what I want to do is I want to show you actually a demonstration. This is Ron. We were invited to a senior fitness class. So this is a class that helps our seniors stay strong, upright, mobile, and if they do happen to have a fall, that they're strong and they can get up. And so as I play this, I would like you to pay attention to Ron's feet and to his face.
Hands down by straighten out that toe.
You just were able to do it.
Yeah. Hands down by your side. And I'm gonna push up. Don't let me tip you. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Feet together. Hand over hand against your chest. 3, 2, 1. He's stronger there. Okay, ready?
Okay, Ron,
Okay.
let's do it.
Feet a little, is he shoulder width?
No, wider than that. Wider than that.
Shoulder width.
Oh, right there.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1.
We're making you a believer, Ron.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, there's no way.
Buddy.
Feet together. Against your chest.
Ta-da! Ron's amazing, and those are the stories that we're seeing again and again and again. So here are the stars of this company. It's the Super Patches, and I'll go very quickly through the patches, and we can talk briefly about them. But number one is the Freedom Patch. This is what got this conversation happening in our home. Lori had chronic pain for 4 years, like brought her to tears almost on a daily basis. Our friend Jessica Skinner brought over a Freedom Patch. She put it on her hip and her pain went away instantly. It was remarkable. And this is exactly what we heard in our testimonials tonight. The Boost Patch. I've got a Boost Patch on right now, paired it with a Focus. I put on my headphones and I got more done in an hour today than I've gotten done, all day yesterday and the day before. The Liberty Patch is the patch that Jay actually developed for his mother. This is what we call the master patch. This is resetting the brain. This lateralizes the body. It's kind of like when we run our laptops day after day after day without restarting it. It gets slower and slower and slower. And then we restart the laptop and it goes fast again. That's what the Liberty Patch is. It's like a reset for the brain. We've got the REM Patch. This has changed lives. This is Jay Glazer, the sportscaster for Fox News and the NFL. This changed his life, gave him a great night's sleep, and he's the guy that's gotten this into every NFL locker room. The Peace Patch, we had a gentleman who went through 20 sessions of neurofeedback, and neurofeedback's amazing. It works. We had a gentleman that had chronic anxiety, and after 20 sessions, gave Lori a big hug. It's like, you changed my life. But 2 months later, when we were exposed to the Super Patch and Lori put a Peace Patch on his back, he touched his heart and he literally started crying and saying, I've never felt so peaceful in my life. That is a powerful technology. The Defend Patch, this is for your immune system. The Focus Patch, instead of Adderall and all the other crazy stuff that our kids are being prescribed, put on a patch, put on a Focus Patch. The Ignite Patch, they had to do that testing on that one 3 times because they could not believe that it was increasing the metabolic rate by 25% at rest. That means you could be sitting on the couch and you're burning an additional 25% more calories. The Joy Patch is really for people who maybe you have a blue mood, maybe some depressive tendencies. Put on a Peace or a Joy Patch and the sunshine comes out. Kick It Patch. This is near and dear to my heart. This is great for people with addictive personalities who want to maybe quit drinking, smoking, eating the pantry at 2 o'clock in the morning. And it also works for negative looping thoughts. Those negative, nagging thoughts that just won't stop. Those thoughts that can harm relationships, that can completely ruin a day, ruin an experience because we're just stuck in our head. Put on a Kick It Patch and the clouds go away. It's absolutely life-changing. The Lumi Patch, we've heard about this for skin. I was blown away because I saw Lori put this on and 2 hours later, she was glowing even more than she already does. The Rocket Patch got a little bit of attention tonight. The Rocket Patch, I love the tagline, more like never before. This was developed for men, but what's happened is women are the primary consumers of this product. Maybe they're giving it to their men, but what it does is it works on the endocrine system, the hormone system of both men and women. Brings us back to our optimal state, confident. We've got drive, we've got energy. And then we've got our Victory Patch for our athletes. A study with the with Arizona State is being completed, and the studies are mind blowing. This is the patch that is in every NFL locker room, among others. This is documented to improve athletic performance 17 to 30%. It is documented to increase leg strength by 10% and increase VO2 max. That means oxygen by 10%. That is endurance. We've gone to gyms and we've got young men who have gone through an entire workout. They're exhausted. We put the victory patch on them and they do what they call a PR. A PR is a personal record, and they're all always blown away. So, what is it? This is it. VTT, it's vibrotactile technology. It's a mouthful. It's a sticker, but it's not the sticker. What this is, those ridges on the patches are unique on each patch. As you can see, it's like a fingerprint. It's kind of like a QR code. Like when you scan a QR code with your phone and it takes you to a specific website, each patch, when you put it on the skin, is communicating with a specific region of the brain, whether it be for stability, for emotional control, for hunger. That's what these patches do. And to the date, there's been 17 years and $40 million in research and development. 25 million in 14 years was all on Jay Dollywall. Nobody wanted to invest in a software engineer going into the neuro market, right? So he had to put his own money into this. And ultimately, what he identified is that every bodily function has a neural program: breathing, walking, balance, pain management, stress, sleep, immune response. And these neural programs get damaged or stuck for a million reasons that lead to poor health, wellness, and performance. So think about maybe somebody you know who's had a car accident or like a really intense sickness or chronic stress or a traumatic background. Those are the environments that will create damage to the neural codes, right? And that becomes the new normal. All of a sudden, it's like, well, it's just the way it is. But you get somebody well, they go, oh my gosh, I had no idea that I was so unwell. So the pattern and the ridges on these patches trigger receptors and ion channels in the skin to generate signals or messages that flow to the mind and help repair the neural programs, thus allowing our bodies and mind to operate at their highest levels. The thing it's kind of like, when people drew on your back and said, what letter is this? It's an A. Or like blind people, when they read with their fingers, like Braille, it's using the exact same pathways, right? And we always make it really clear to folks. It's like, listen, it's not the patch that's doing it. The patch is activating, but that's your brain. That's your brain. That's what it's like when your brain is optimized. But so many of us, I raise my own hand, have not experienced an optimal brain function for years. It's become the new normal. That's mind blowing. That's why it looks like magic. But I'm telling you, like, we are divine beings. There's no technology more powerful or beautiful than the human body. And what I love, this was really important to me in the beginning and still is it's backed by science. Jay has taken this to double-blind studies. And every time a double-blind study will come out and the results are made public, the pharmaceutical industry offers Jay a lot of money. Again, chemical-free, no harmful effects, no contraindications, and it's cheap. It doesn't cost a lot of money. We are busting into the bankroll of some big, big companies. The other aspect, one of the people that we studied a lot was Dr. Anna Toker. Dr. Anna Toker is the top colorectal surgeon in the country. This woman is amazing. And she was introduced to the super patch technology, and she started utilizing it for her clients going into surgery. So for 2 weeks prior to surgery, she would give them a Liberty patch for stability, because I don't know if you knew this, but every year 1 million people fall in hospitals that are unrelated to why they came to the hospital. So 1 million falls. And of those million, 10,000 of them die. And that's just in hospitals. Imagine the retirement communities. My mother is a fall risk. She fell today. I got a call from my sister. We got to get her no more Liberty patches. This is a big deal. So she gives them a Liberty patch for stability. She gives them a REM patch for good restful sleep, a peace patch to reduce cortisol and anxiety going into surgery, and a freedom patch for pain. Now, what she's found is after her surgery, the surgery. She utilizes the same protocols. It has reduced the recovery time radically. But here's the kicker. It has reduced the opiate prescriptions by 80%. You see why he's getting offered a lot of money for this technology? So now we'll shift into business. What does this look like? We talked about this a little bit earlier. If we were just in the sleep market, there's 6 billion people looking for better sleep, 2 billion people looking for more energy, 2 billion people looking for clean beauty, cognitive function, 3 billion. Each one of these, you could start a company and you could go earn a lot of money, right? Each one of these is an industry in and of itself. Super Patch is all of them. It's all of them. That's why it's $4.7 trillion opportunity. So why this market? Why this model? Jay Dollywall came from traditional business. He knew nothing about this industry. So he took it to market traditionally through doctors' offices, physical therapists, and it was really slow getting to market. And somebody, actually a woman by the name of Lori Petrilli, who's made millions in traditional business. Her family's generationally wealthy in traditional businesses, but she found the network marketing industry and she's made millions upon millions upon millions in the network marketing industry. She sat down with Jay and she said, listen, your product is a demonstratable product and must be taken to market through the MLM structure. And Jay listened to her. And the reason for that is we have a product that is instantly demonstratable. Always do a stability test before giving someone a patch. If you just give somebody a patch without a stability test, you've just wasted a patch and you've taken the opportunity away from that individual, because if they're like me, it's just a piece of tape. Come on, how can that work? Right? You've got to do a stability test with the individuals. And so we do have that product. This isn't like waiting, here, take these vitamins and call me in 30 days. Are you feeling anything? This is 30 seconds. So you see why this is so magical in the networking industry. It's residual and recurring revenue. What that means is these individuals who are exposed to this technology, 90% of these folks are going to be utilizing this on a monthly basis forever. This will be the new medicine cabinet. It's going to be the new normal. It's got a built-in growth engine. What that means is Lori shared it with some friends, our family members, and now there are hundreds of people that we're connected to, and we're so incredibly grateful for that. But we can't take credit for that. It's because of this technology. It's so demonstratable and so impactful. And it's a low-cost entry. That means it's like available to everyone. Like there's more people going to have access to this, more people on a monthly basis. Recurring orders from a business standpoint is the dream. And we have that. And none of this would be worthwhile. It's like Jim Rohn says, he says, don't ask what you're getting on the job, ask what you're becoming on the job, right? What Jay has done, you don't earn hundreds of millions of dollars at the top tier companies on the planet by accident. You are rubbing shoulders with the most profound, powerful leaders in the industry. And Jay has hired John Maxwell to train and coach the leaders of the Super Patch. Lori and I were blessed to hit the vice president rank last month, so that we now get to work with John Maxwell. And that is a trickle-down effect. This is really about leadership, leading ourselves, having control over our own emotions, our own focus, leading our families, and being a positive impact into our communities. The market advantages, there's no change required. This isn't like, oh, we're going to go, hey, go lose some weight. Well, great. What's the recipe? Well, you're going to fast 18 hours a day. You're going to work out twice a day, morning and night, right? People don't want to do that. Some will, but the masses don't like change. It's a perfect price for customers. It's a co-op marketing program. We won't go deeply into that right now, but imagine a Super Bowl commercial for the Super Patch and you get a percentage of the revenue generated from that Super Bowl commercial. That is not hyperbole. That is actually something that is on the schedule. And it is compliant. This technology is compliant. It's medical tape. The tape that is utilized for the Super Patch, the small ones now, is the exact same material and adhesive that is utilized by surgeons internally. So when they open a body up and they do some repairs, this is the same material. So we're working with the very best of the best. And these market advantages matter because there's a lot of hype out there, right? There's a lot of scams out there, a lot of Me Too products. My shake can beat up your shake. My vitamin's better. Come on. Too many MLMs, people who do not belong in this industry, a lot of the cryptos, there's a lot of stuff out there. And the other aspect is people are financially exhausted. You guys have heard the statistics that most people don't have an extra $500. Your car goes out with a family who's got kids. That's a big challenge, and we have the opportunity to help them. So the options are the gig economy. I come from a construction background, so I've had to multiple times had the blessing to get to go to Home Depot, buy some concrete tools, and go out and pour some slabs to make a few bucks for my family. It's been a long time since I've had to do that, but I was grateful I did. The challenge with that is when I was done working, the money stopped working. You could Uber, not Ubering, no more money, right? So we have the gig economy or we have the super patch economy. You build this thing, and for the first time in a long time, we're looking at a company and an owner and a technology where you build it once and it's going to pay you for generations. Jay is a 5-generation guy. He said it took 5 generations to create the sick care, and this sick society is going to take 5 generations to get out. And so he's created a model and an engine through the super patch technology that will allow us to do that. So I feel very confident that when I wake up and I put focus into this company on a daily basis, which when I say put focus into this company, you know what that really means? Putting focus into people, pouring into people, making sure that they've got the tools necessary and the support to grow this. So with the super patch, you've got a couple options to grow the company. You can do this as a product user. If that's all we got, you guys, if we went out there and we shared this with enough people that just became product users, we would have one. First of all, it would feel really good to help that many people, but we're going to have a great income. So there's product users, there's promoters, but this presentation is really about business builders. People who understand that business is business, whether it's traditional business or network marketing, right? Business is business. You do certain things consistently on a daily basis. You've successfully use clues, so follow the people who've done it before you, and you do it enough times, you're going to have similar results, period. It's the way it is. And so we're looking for business builders with a super patch that we can lock arms with, we can coach, teach, and train, and we can grow businesses together. And 2026, the super patch has been around. It launched in network marketing in 2023 and did 60 million in revenue with no network marketers. It was just people, telling neighbors, telling regular Joes, and they did 60 million in revenue. And then Lori Petrilli came into the equation. She brought in some network marketing professionals, business professionals, and in 24 they did 100 million in revenue. Lori and I and you all came on in 2025, and we are right at 200 million in 2025. Jay's goal in 2026 is to double it. He wants to go to 500 million. And if you're going to convention, you're going to see why he believes that, I believe that, and why it's going to turn the network marketing industry on its ear. He's doing things because he's a tech guy. He sees things differently, and he is going to create, I believe, the most amazing, fastest growing networking company on the planet. And so the key with this obviously is getting out to a fast start. Fast is fun, slow can be painful. And so we have a very clearly defined roadmap for an individual who comes into the super patch. We're going to coach you, teach you, train you on the best practices and how to share this with as many people and have fun. And people will really enjoy being approached by you. You know, when you have someone who is in pain and they go pain free. Like, so I'm so grateful that Lori put us into a couple of trade shows because we had the ability to do 50 to 100 stability tests on individuals back to back to back, and to see the look on their faces, to hear the, oh my gosh, over and over again. And then from those shows, individuals coming over and doing a presentation for their families, doing basically the equivalent of a patch party And that's how this all started for us, you guys. And it was just such a blast, and it continues to be a blast. I hope that this has been beneficial to you. There are a couple of assets that you can tap into. There is ascendwithsuperpatch.com. Ascendwithsuperpatch.com is a web page that Lori and I developed specifically just to help you. So you can go to that website, ascendwithsuperpatch.com, check it out. There's some great testimonials. There is a presentation like this on that page, and there are some other assets and resources for you. If this is your first time experiencing this business presentation, simply get back with the person that invited you onto the presentation, and they can answer some questions. And any questions that they're unable to answer because they're new, they're absolutely welcome to reach out to Lori, myself, or someone in their team to assist in getting you started with this. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful evening. Thanks so much for giving me your time tonight, and look forward to seeing you again soon.